We're smaller businesses and we need every tool we can and we need as much help as we can. So if we can systemize how to give real feedback directly from our customers, that's doing them, just a great service, right? That's giving them the opportunity to rise to the occasion, and that's what they want.
Welcome to Jobbers Masters of Home Service, a podcast for home service pros by home service pros. We are in sunny Las Vegas, and today we're talking about a simple audit that costs you nothing, but makes you a lot of money. I'm your host, Adam Sylvester. I have Katie Pierce with us. She is the owner of Glimmer Cleaning Co. and Glisten Academy. Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure. So I have had a cleaning business since 2008, residential and commercial. I've done it all. And I also have Glisten Academy, which is training for cleaning business owners specifically.
Bingo. All right, cool. I'm looking forward to get into this because it's a very unique episode. Something that you're very passionate about is the mystery shopper, the secret shopper method, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. What is that? And then we'll get into it. But what is that?
Essentially, and this is used in a lot of industries, but the idea is simply that you hire secret shoppers who audit, review your business and submit a report to the business. And it basically tells the business exactly what their business looks like through the customer's eyes. So again, this is used in restaurants and retail, all kinds of different industries. And no one really uses it in the cleaning industry. So I decided to do this a few years ago, and it's just absolutely incredible, the results that you'll see pretty much instantly from instituting this in your business. And again, anyone in the home service business can do it. It's a proven method of getting feedback on your business and knowing exactly what's going on out there, eyes and ears. And as you know, it's really, really hard to do that as a small business owner, really as any business. This gives you direct insight into exactly what's going on out there with your business.
Yeah, because you tell your field staff to do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way.
Yeah.
And then you have no idea if they do it this way.
You have no idea.
You only have complaints.
That's
and
right.
And it's too late. It's all lag.
And, the other thing is you spend all this time training your staff. I mean, I think we all understand the headache of training and investing in training programs and investing in the time and energy and money it costs to train our staff. And then the second they go out there, and they're kind of unleashed onto your clients, are they wearing their uniform? Do they show up on time? Are they leaving behind a business card or a brochure? How do they talk to your clients? How do they introduce themselves? And then, of course, the job itself. Are they doing a good job? And what exactly are they doing, right? Mm-hmm. And more importantly, too, is how is it perceived by your clients? Because that's that really matters at the end of the day, right? We can think we're doing a good job, but are we? So you're getting that direct feedback and insight from your customers.
One of the things that drives me the most, crazy the most, and we'll get into it, is when you have your technician go out there and it doesn't go well for whatever reason and say, well, boss, I did that, or I said that. And I just have to take their word for it. And they may not be lying to you. Their perception is they said it the way you said to say it.
Exactly.
In the context of sales maybe, or well, I promise, and you just have no idea. So
you have no idea.
This method we're going to talk about helps you confirm everything that we're talking about. And so basically you have your buddy just pretend to be a random client, right?
That's go
through the entire process.
Yeah. So there's a few different ways of doing it. It definitely can be someone but it can also be a whole new list of customers. And so this can generate just a whole new revenue stream for you. And also when you have those customers who say, well, I can't really afford it, or you get the assumption they maybe can't afford it, the quote was a little higher than they expected or a lot higher. Either way, you can also offer them, we give half price cleanings or half price, whatever it is, painting to customers who are our mystery shoppers. So in exchange for a report and giving me feedback on your service, you get to save money on your service. And people love it, right?
Wow.
I mean, it's a win-win for everyone.
You don't do it for free, you half off or something?
Yeah, typically I've always found that half price works, but again, you can play around and see what works for you.
Okay. Tell me what's the next thing we need to know about this? What's the next step?
So basically what you need to do is you're going to build that list. So it's just like building any customer list, only this is specific mystery shoppers, right? So again, you can advertise on social media, say you're looking for, customers who can do secret shopping for you. You can do it on social media, of course. You can do it with your email. You can run ads, whatever you want. And then from there, you build that list. And then what you need to do is you need to figure out exactly how you're going to audit. So what does that look like? What questions are you asking? What do you want the customers to evaluate the staff on? And the customers don't necessarily have to be home because of course lots of our customers aren't home, right? So it might be a dead giveaway to our staff, if like suddenly, well, this person's home. So it doesn't have to be that. Essentially, you need to figure out what you want them to review and to report on. So you can have anything you want. And again, this can change and evolve over time. One of the things that I have that I suggest people ask for as well is simple things like call our business, with a question, or fill out the quote form on the website, try and book an appointment. How easy was it? How long did it take? Did my receptionist answer the phone? Just everything you can imagine about how your business is performing, you can get feedback on. So figuring out all those different elements that you want feedback on, and maybe like this changes over time. So maybe you're getting a lot of complaints about the cleaning itself, or maybe you're getting the impression that, we're not getting back to people fast enough. Like why are we quoting and these quotes aren't turning into jobs? So you can change this as time goes on, or maybe you're getting a lot of complaints with, toilets aren't clean enough, or, whatever it is. So it's like, hey guys, you know what? We really need to step it up. And what this does is that I find, having trained hundreds of people, is that oftentimes it's not that they don't know what's expected of them. They don't know how to do the job. But if they feel like no one's watching and no one cares, or they can, kind of like blame their partner or something like that, then what incentive do they really have to do an amazing job? And again, this is all about taking it to the very next level. So if they forget that checklist in their car and they know they're supposed to leave it, at the end of a cleaning, do they really want to go out to the car and get it? Does it matter? Like, it's not a big deal. We see this client all the time. But if they know that that person could be submitting a review, and depending on the score they get on that mystery shopper report, that could mean the difference between, a $100 bonus. It could mean the difference between a promotion. It could mean the difference between, being employee of the month and that recognition that comes along with it. So it automatically steps up the game for all the staff. And so they have the energy and they have the inspiration to perform exactly how you want them to.
Yeah. And not to mention, once you do it once, then you might be doing it anytime.
Yeah,
And so
exactly. And that's exactly how it is. So because they never know who the mystery shopper is, and it could be a new client, you could reach out to your existing list and say, you know what, I need 3 existing customers who've been around for at least a year to sign up for this. We need, a couple reports for some of my staff. Often staff want raises, they want feedback. And that's where this really is coming from. It's not about punishing staff. It's not about spying on staff, because the staff know about this. This is not something that we're being sneaky or anything. We show the staff, here's what you're being evaluated on. This is the report. This is how you can get 100% or an A+ or whatever it is. This is how I help you succeed. And so when they know specifically that they're going to get 2 mystery shop reports every single month, and then we're going to talk about that at a staff meeting, and we're going to reward people based on their reports, that's a really exciting thing for people. And I find, running a small business and a service business myself, is that we never, we're so busy, and 6 months can go by and you get that, that message from an employee saying, I've been here for 6 months, can we talk about a raise or something? And it's like, oh my gosh, do I even have a file of feedback? Have I compiled this? So by doing this, you're putting all of that reporting and all that record keeping on your customers. And now you've got files, you've got feedback, you've got all the proof you need to promote, to give raises, to not give raises. It's all right there for you in a really organized, systematic way. And as well, just another point is that the customers absolutely love this, because as we know, what customers want more than anything is to be listened to. They want their feedback. Imagine being the only business in town that actually has customers giving real reports directly to the owner.
Yeah.
And that's how much you care about, how your business is. So it's just, it's an amazing marketing tool as well.
I want to do this when I get back home. And I can immediately think of 2 or 3 things that I know are not up to snuff.
Right.
And the temptation, I can already tell, is to I'll wait to do it after I get all those things up to snuff, and then I'll do it. But the truth is, you're never perfect. And so would you just tell people just to start, even though you have gaps, just do it.
And that's exactly it. I mean, feedback's scary. And, again, you're putting yourself out there every day, you're trusting your staff, you're selling something that you've created, and nobody's perfect, right? I mean, we all know we're going to get negative feedback sometimes, but isn't it better to get it on a report that's used for internal training than it is for that to be posted on Google, for the whole world to see.
Right.
And if you can be on top of it, I think as a business owner, it's really, really it's your duty to be on top of it. You need to know what your staff are doing out there, not just for your clients, but as a leader, you need to know exactly what your staff are doing and what they're not doing. And then you need to be committed to fixing that. And when you see it in black and white on a report, it's going to compel you to take action. And on top of that, I think you'll be surprised with how much incredibly positive feedback you get as well. So it's actually a really, really positive thing for everyone.
Okay, let's get in the nitty gritty here. So how do you set this up? Earlier you mentioned there's a couple of different ways of doing it. Mm-hmm. Walk us through those different options, but then let's just get into like, how do we do this from step one to step A to Z?
Absolutely. So what you want to do is really start by recruiting people. And again, that can be as simple as an Instagram post, a Facebook group. While you're sort of recruiting for that though, at the same time, you need to tell your staff. So again, like this isn't the kind of thing that we're sneaking up on our staff with. So always tell your staff right at the same time that, you're going to be launching a secret shopper, mystery shopper program in your company. Here's why. This is all the positives, and this is to help us all. So this is to get genuine feedback because, again, your staff want feedback, but they also want fair feedback. So if they know that every time they're cleaning a house that they might not know that they're missing something, or they might not know that a customer really wants, the stuffed animals on their kids' beds, arranged nicely, or they want the toilet paper folded into a plane. I mean, these are little things that matter to people. And by giving that client like an anonymous way to tell you that, now you can start to understand what's really important to your customers. And, it might not be anonymous to you. Like, of course, we as business owners are going to know who that client is, but we don't tell the staff that, right? So now we know, and we can use our best judgment to figure out how to tell the staff, or maybe all the staff need to know, but it's going to highlight areas in your business that need improvement. And then that's what you can focus on.
Cool. Okay. So you definitely notify your staff.
Tell your staff, start recruiting, the people who are going to be mystery shoppers. From there, you explain to them exactly what's being reported on. And it doesn't have to be complicated at all. It can be as simple as, your staff or your customers are going to check the top of the fridge to make sure that they've dusted that. They're going to rate what the uniforms looked like, how clean and organized were the cleaning caddies or the vacuum if you brought a vacuum. Did they show up on time? It's just little things. It can be a 10-point checklist. And from there, then the client, so you're going to set that up, the report, and of course I suggest doing it online with some kind of fillable form, and then they submit it within usually 24 hours you want from the end of the appointment. You want that report completed, and they submit it to you, and then you can look at your reports once a week, once a month as they come in, and then pretty much like once a month you'll want to hold a staff meeting, and you just tell people how they did basically. So you'll sort of compile an average. If you want to have one-on-ones with your staff and get a little bit more, detailed and, give them more one-on-one feedback, you can. But essentially what I do is just at a staff meeting, I tell them what their score was, and then those people get like a cash bonus kind of idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really simple. And then what it also does is when you have, let's say, like a little bit of a slower season or a slower week, and suddenly you're kind of worried, like, how am I going to fill the schedule right after Christmas and things like that? You know what? You can just send out a whole bunch. Like, I need 10 mystery shop appointments. So, you might just be breaking even on it because, you're offering it at 50%, but it's going to save you a lot of money in the long term because, again, you're getting all of this reporting and it's coming through, and then you can use it to inform everything you do as a business owner. And it's really about as simple as that. So, of course, there's some more steps in there, but that's essentially the idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking like Google survey forms, maybe Google Forms, any form, as long as it's easy for the client to fill out.
Yeah.
Katie, this conversation is fantastic. I have a lot of questions for you. But before that, let's take a pause and talk about Jobber and why we like it so much. How does Jobber help you maintain a high level of quality in your business?
The most important things for me are that customer profile, that intake form, understanding our customers deeply, and ensuring that everything that has happened through their life cycle with your business is passed on to the next person who is still with your business, but maybe new as, the technician who works for them. And it's important that they know. So, for a customer, they're going to say, well, I told you about this 2 years ago, or this has happened 3 times, This is the kind of stuff that can be updated right in Jobber. And so any employee who works for you, any person can go in and check and see all of those details, and then they can update things as well so that everyone always knows everything that customer wants.
Yeah, I think one of the most frustrating things is when clients tell today's guy something special,
Totally.
and then the next week it's a different guy.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
Jobber, in the instructions of the visit, use technical jargon within Jobber, it's all there. And so you can
all
update
there.
that every time,
Exactly.
and it's the code to the doors there, and all
It
that
just,
kind of stuff.
I mean, there's no mistakes, right? When everything is accurate and everything is updated for the customer profile and everything's secure as well, that's a huge part of it. So for staff just to be able to have that at their fingertips, it saves you all. So
It
many
eliminates
problems.
staff headaches.
Absolutely,
And they don't
yeah.
want to just have they don't want chaos.
Yeah.
They want order.
Absolutely.
You need Jobber too, for all the reasons we just talked about. New users can get an exclusive discount at jobber.com/podcast deal. Go start today and bring order to your business. I'm envisioning from A to Z, I think, tell me if you think this is a good idea, having the client call in from the very beginning and just I want a quote.
That's exactly right.
Okay. So it's not necessarily, it can be for just the quality of the
can.
work. It could
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
or it could be the entire
The
customer
whole
experience.
exactly. Yeah, so it can be, and I definitely suggest that because you've got the person there, and the reports don't take an incredible amount of time. So if you're doing a cleaning, that should be $250, and they're getting $125 off. You're definitely should be getting a little bit from them, right? So definitely, you can give them, like I said, specific things to look at on your website. Was it easy to find the price? Was it easy to get a quote? You can have them test links, when you clicked on contact us, was our social media, test each of our social media, links, make sure that everything's going to the right place. You can have them look at your Instagram. There's tons. I mean, it's just limitless what you can ask them for feedback on.
Yeah. How often should this be done? I mean,
I found the most effective strategy is to have staff receive a mystery shop at least once every pay period, so about every 2 weeks.
oh
So every
wow,
10
that's a
days.
lot.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
so
But
oh,
once you
wow.
have the program set up, it's pretty much automated, right? So it's really, really simple. You can send out that email and say, hey, I need, 3 of these done. Or you can even just contact a regular customer and say, hey, I'm going to give you $100 off your regular biweekly cleaning next week. Would you mind filling out this report for me? It'll take 10, 20 minutes. Yeah, no problem. They love it, right? And then they get a discount and that's it. And then, you can book them in. You can even have that specific type of service, labeled as a mystery shop or something, so you get a different email automation. So that email just comes to them. It's got a link to the report. They fill it out. It's submitted. You get the email that it's there, and it just works really, really easily. And once it's set up, you don't really have to do much with it.
Yeah. I'm curious, do you have this option on your intake form if people want to opt into it?
I haven't done that actually. So that's a really good idea, and you definitely could do that. In my experience, I have found that current customers, customers who sign up just to be regular customers, have almost never opted to be mystery shoppers. So even if I reach out to 1,000 current customers and say, hey, does anybody want this? Very, very few have ever.
So it really is an incentive for people who have not bought.
Yeah, it's really a
good to know.
brand new stream of clients. It's a whole other list. Yeah, it's really quite exciting to see.
Now, on the form, I'm envisioning 2 different elements per question, if you will. One is a sliding scale 1 to 5.
Sure.
So you have a numeric grade.
Yep.
So you can average that number wise. But then a box that says, tell me more. Why did you say 4 out of 5?
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other elements?
You can ask them to take pictures, if there's if there's anything that they are finding. Yeah, the toilet doesn't look that great. So, they could snap a photo, easy enough to do nowadays. They could upload some photos at the end. You can easily have, attachments. They can upload in any form. They can email you. I mean, it's very, very simple. It can be, again, as slick as you want or as, manual as you want, depending on the size of your business. But I would just definitely recommend getting started, because then you can scale it, as you grow, and you can make it more. Exactly. Yeah.
Do you share the form with your staff? So
Absolutely.
they see exactly what's on
Yep.
there? Okay. I thought you said that earlier.
Yeah, for sure. So, if you've got...
You're giving them the answers to the test.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you want, again, this isn't about, you don't want them to score bad, right? So if you're telling them, okay, they're going to be checking the underside of the toilet, the top of the fridge. I'm just thinking of certain things that are always missed in a house, right? That come back time and time again. So it's if they know that, that's specifically what's being checked, or like, the kitchen floor, suddenly they know like, okay, there's only 10 things I have to do extremely well. And then that's really important, right?
Well, so we
Priorities.
have a quality control checklist at the end of each visit. My gutter company does. And so there's like 18 different points on there or less. And they have to check those off every visit, every job.
Yeah.
And so I imagine that those should be pretty darn similar. The form that the customer fills out should reflect what's
It
on
should,
there
absolutely.
because
Yeah.
that's congruent. You don't
You'd
want to
want
have
to
those two different
cross-reference
things.
that. Yeah, for sure. With cleaning, it's maybe a little bit different because there's so much going on in a house. So, and what happens a lot with staff is, with cleaners is that they'll check off things that maybe don't even exist. Like, oh yes, we cleaned the microwave, but there is no microwave, right?
Right.
This is like actually like
I've always wondered
see
what,
this.
what should you do in that situation? Tell them not to check it off, or do you not, or do you?
Yeah,
check
no,
it?
they definitely should not be checking it off if
Okay.
they haven't cleaned it, right?
Okay.
But what happens is people start getting, complacent. Of course, that's exactly it, right? Especially like the longer you've been cleaning for that person. And of course, what all customers will tell you is that, oh, the cleaning was amazing the first time, the second time, the third
Yes.
time. Suddenly, why does the quality start to go downhill? And that's just human nature. There's complacency. It's like, oh, we've been doing this client for years. They don't care if we leave a checklist or not.
They don't even
It's okay. I'm having
notice.
an off day. They love us. It's fine. But, again, that's not fair to anyone, right? What it also does, in terms of complacency is not only do staff start to get a little bit, complacent, but also so do the clients. So what you'll find as well is,
Their standards go down.
well, and what happens is, the first time we come to clean for you, we're cleaning up. We don't want to look messy and stuff. And then as soon as you start getting more familiar and, more relaxed and stuff, well, maybe you leave dishes in the sink and suddenly the client's not really preparing for the cleaning as well as they used to either. So things start to go downhill from all angles, right? And, just to touch on that as well is what happens when the clients actually start going through reports, or, you can share, of course, like I recommend that you do share your mystery shopper report, like not the filled out report, but what people are reporting on with your regular clients too, because you can always say like, do you know anyone who'd be interested in doing this? They get a discount on their cleaning. And so oftentimes you'll maybe have like a friend or a family member referred by a real client who's paying full price. And what this does is it educates the clients, like, we've talked about with photos and all that, is really teaching the clients, wow, like I didn't know that they did that. I didn't know they did that. Like, so it's teaching them how detailed your cleaners or your staff actually are. And it really educates them and they start appreciating and understanding and respecting what you do.
This is so great. I love this. I have so many thoughts and so many questions. I can't answer them all right now. But the title that I introed with,
Yeah.
Katie, was "It costs $0
Yeah.
and makes you a lot of money."
Yeah.
So far, if I'm in the minds of the listener, it sounds like it costs a lot of money. It sounds, where's the money? So let's talk about that. It does cost a little bit in bonuses if you do incentivize a little bit. But
Sure.
the long term, where are you seeing a big ROI?
So really what you're doing, I mean, for the most part in home service industry is what we end up doing is hiring a field manager. Like we need a quality control person. We need somebody out there. Again, like in the beginning, this might not seem very expensive, but now you've got somebody on salary, 50, 60,000 a year, let's say, and their sole purpose is to drive around and check a handful of appointments every day.
Wow, that sounds so bad in this
Right?
context. Yeah.
So that's sort of what I'm saying. So, at sort of the peak of my residential cleaning, we were doing about 75 to 80 appointments a week. I can't check that. One field manager can't check that. Nobody
one
can
can.
check that. So imagine the cost that, and again, you don't have to check every appointment, of course, but things start, if staff feel like nobody's ever checking on them, and it's not fair to them either, right? If it's just like, oh, we asked for a review. Oh, great, a review. But like, oh yeah, the house was clean. Yeah, 4 stars, 5 stars. It's like, this isn't specific. And I find, again, having analyzed and learning how to train people for 15 years and working with people all over the world on how to train their staff, the actual scorecard and rubric has to be so simple, pass or fail. Like you said, 1 star, 5 stars, and it has to be really, really easy for people to understand, because otherwise we get into emotional feedback and, like people arguing and stuff, and it simply has to
Personality
be.
conflicts.
Exactly. So there's so much, and then staff feel like, oh, that, that customer is just being difficult, or, this is a really, really black and white, very scientific way of gathering data. And yes, there might be costs associated with giving a discount, but you would probably not have that customer if you didn't
That's true.
do the discount, right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of what I'm getting at, is that there's no, again, as a business owner, like we don't have money, to hire a secret shopping company and do metrics and focus groups and all of this stuff. So why not just find your own customers with a few social media posts? Doesn't cost any money. Ask your current, customers to recommend your program to people who are looking. It's very similar to like a hair salon when somebody comes on as a junior stylist, right? And they need to be trained or whatever, and they get a discount. So there's no upfront cost with instituting this. And again, it doesn't have to be $100 bonuses. I mean, this is just what worked for me. But again, like we were, 10, 12 employees at that point when I brought this program in. So you might not have that budget to play with, but that's okay. Maybe you just do some gift cards or, it can be anything. You can be creative, pizza parties, whatever it is. It doesn't have to cost a lot, but again, it doesn't really cost you anything upfront, right? So there's no like hard dollars put into it.
Yeah. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. I think a lot of people are thinking this, maybe. I actually think we have some sort of ethical obligation to do this. What do we do? We've all done this, whether we do it now or we've done it in the past. We hired the guy, gave him a tool, and just told him to go, and just hope that no one complained.
Yeah.
And here we are saying that we're professionals, and we do a great job. We're number one in our area, all these things. And we're not really doing anything to ensure that we keep that promise.
Yeah.
And just waiting and hoping that no one complains isn't really good enough, especially when you're comparing, because I think the bar can be so high. And I'm going to step on toes. I'm stepping on my toes. I don't do this right now, but I wish we did. We do kind of, well, we don't. So, but like quality matters. Yeah. And it's not okay to be like, well, no one complained this year, but they can't see the inside of the toilet and see the plumbing. They don't know. They're just taking your word for it. And so I think we have an ethical obligation to really make sure that our quality is good enough.
Right. And I mean, that's our due diligence as business owners. We need to be asking the hard questions, and we need to be getting feedback, and we need to give our employees the black and white answers. And it's very objective. We're giving them the opportunity to shine. And the other thing is simply that, again, like they need feedback and they want feedback, and we don't have big HR departments. We don't have this. So we're smaller businesses, and we need every tool we can, and we need as much help as we can. So if we can systemize how to give real feedback directly from our customers to our staff, that's doing them, just a great service, right? That's giving them the opportunity to rise to the occasion, and that's what they want.
Yeah. As a final thought, I'm curious what you think about this, and then we'll wrap up. One thing I told my staff a couple weeks ago is clients have one standard, and then we have a whole higher standard. Generally speaking, a client will look at whatever we did. Oh, the lawn looks great. But the owner's like, that doesn't look great. Look at all the little and the client doesn't see the way we do it. And so I think there it seems like, and you tell me if you agree with it, that there is still a place for the operations manager to go by and take a look at things through his perspective.
Absolutely.
Kind of depends on what business you're in, because a client can make sure there's no dust on the fridge. There might be other businesses that can't rely on the client as much because there's more know-how potentially. But anyway, I just thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's very true. But again, like then you can take more of a step back maybe from how the business is operating in terms of, like I said, like how's the website, how's the social media, when they call the business, because a lot of times as well as business owners, we're the last to know about things, right? I feel like that's happened to me a few times where you didn't realize this, and customers, as much as people sometimes like to say, oh, people just like to complain and stuff, I've never found that. I found that people don't want to complain. They don't want somebody's job in jeopardy. So sometimes we are the last to know. So if you can make a really, again, just a formal way of doing it, it takes out any of that awkwardness, and everybody wins in the end.
Katie, this was fantastic. I really appreciate all that you said. I'm going to try to wrap it up in 3 steps here. Number 1 is do it. Just do it now. Get started. I'm tempted to wait until everything's perfect. It's not going to be. Start today, and it's going to change your business. Number 2 is give the answers to test your technicians before. Like, don't make this a secret. Make it a secret, but not with your staff. And let them know it's going to happen. That way, their performance will go up automatically, and you don't want to be suspicious of like being kind of shifty. And number 3 is the checklist that you have on the job site should match the form the client is going to fill out, because those 2 things should pretty much be the same, because that's how you're grading your technicians, and so it should be the same. Katie, this is great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
How do people find out more about you?
You can go to glistenacademy.com. So listen with the G. Got lots of actual resources on this program as well for free if you want to go and learn how to implement this in your business.
Great. Well, I really appreciate just on the topic of how you've implemented quality control in your business. Your clients are better for it. Your team is better for it. So great job. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening. I hope you heard something that will make your business more profitable and efficient and better. I'm your host, Adam Sylvester. You can find me at adamsylvester.com. Your clients and your team deserve your very best. So go give it to them.